9 o'clock, could you please stand and join us for the flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the Monday, September 15th, 2025 meeting as written?
So moved. Second.
Been moved by Peterson, seconded by McCurry. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. I want to go ahead and do these miscellaneous motions.
Sure.
Do I have a motion to authorize and direct the chairman to sign the revised Coffee County payroll notice for Cale Johnson, County Attorney's Office, Legal Intern 2, revised from step 45-5 to step 45-1, wage $23.83, part-time, 3/5 of the time, licensed legal intern under Washburn University School of Law, third year Anywhere program, effective retroactive to August 18th, 2025.
So moved.
Abendroth has moved, Barker seconded. Any further discussion? So did the wage change?
Went backwards.
Okay, we just had the one wage listed here.
So he went from step 5 to step 1. That's intentional. He's going to be here this fall and in the spring. And he's, because he's 3/5 time, he's going to be eligible for part-time benefits. Part of the Washburn Anywhere, third year Anywhere program. They require payment.
Okay.
So I don't know if that helps.
Yeah, okay, very good. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Motion to have Von Roth Land Brokers as the broker for the county and approve the chairman to sign the auction listing agreement, commercial exclusive seller agency for the sale of Coffee County Commission lots 1, 2, and the north 9-foot of 3 in Wilson's Block 12, City of Burlington, and the west half of lots 1 through 4, I assume that means including I and C, Block 52, City of Leroy, Kansas, beginning September 26th and ending March 16th, with no commission or advertising expenses to the county.
I thought that was.
All right.
Yeah, that probably needs to be revised to the current agreement.
But also it says it talks about 5% not to exceed $5,000
Right.
on page 2.
Okay.
And then it's in the special conditions section. That may be the last one that was done.
I also had a question. What's the purpose of going through March 16th?
Those dates are probably tied to the.
Hey, did we miss, okay, it says here, beginning September 16th, ending March 26th. I got turned around. Okay, beginning September 16th, 2025, and ending March 16th, 2026.
But there is commission.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 5%. 5,000 exceed.
Okay.
And then he was taking care of the advertising expenses. if I'm
Out of
correct.
that,
Correct.
yes,
Exceed 5%.
yes.
That. Including advertising,
Yes,
is that okay?
and not to exceed
$5,000.
$5,000.
Right.
The contract does state through March 16th. I just don't remember that date ever being mentioned before.
I'm not sure why you put that date in there. It may be to allow the process
There's-
to complete itself, but it should be completed much sooner.
Well, we're specifically talking about those two
We're talking about
properties.
the listing too, so if something happened and we didn't sell it, this would give them agreement through that date. Am I thinking right? So I'll read the bottom part of that again, okay? After the legal descriptions, it says beginning September 16th, 2025 and ending March 16th, 2026, with 5% commission, including advertising expenses to the county, not to exceed $5,000. Also moved,
I'll second.
been moved by Thompson and seconded by McCurry. Both pointing at each other. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay. Housing Authority, Lindsay Stuckey, waived landfill fees. Good morning.
Good morning. I won't take up too much of your time. You guys have a busy schedule. Okay. I have two here for you.
Okay.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. So my first one is that two-story house you see there. That is at 518 C Street in Leroy. They would like to get the landfill fees waived for that. They have no plans at this time to build anything back, but it's been vacant for quite some time. I believe it's kind of beyond repair.
Must be maybe worse inside than
I would
outside.
assume so, yeah.
Okay. Do I have a motion to waive landfill fees for a structure owned by Connie Pinnacle and Brian Pinnacle located at 518 C Street, Leroy, Kansas?
I'll move.
I'll second.
Been moved by Peterson, seconded by McCurry. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
My second one there, that trailer house, that is owned by Lila Van Horn. She got that from the sheriff's sale a while back. It has been vacant since 2018. I don't know if you read county or city minutes, but it's the one that's always in trouble for grass. So she is planning on building there.
On Memorial, isn't it?
Yes, it is on Memorial, 1110 Memorial.
Okay. Do I have a motion to waive landfill fees for a structure owned by Lila Van Horn located at 1110 Memorial, Burlington, Kansas?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved by Abendroth and seconded by Peterson. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Do they have tentative start dates?
So Lila has already started pulling stuff out. She's doing it herself with the help of a brother-in-law. So if you drive by there, there's a dump truck completely full of stuff already. And then the Pinnacles, they have Brad Payer coming. I think as soon as I give them the go-ahead, they're gonna start working on that. So, yeah, awesome. Thank you guys. Have a great day.
Thank you. Okay. Kilo Construction, CFS Engineers Saban Yanez, GAS Garrett Nordstrom, Airport Access Road. Good morning, sirs.
I'm not sure whose meeting this is, other than we were here for an update, I think. So, we can probably maybe have Kello go first, only because I think you're probably interested at least what their schedule is for the project and completion of the phase 1 and phase 2, and then maybe we can follow up with anything after that, so.
Morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Hi.
How are you guys doing?
It's Monday again.
It is Monday. As far as everything's going, I think everything's going a lot better on phase 2. We're still working through some stuff on phase 1. Pipe was installed, the 2 double 24s or 30, I can't remember what they were, but they were installed, so everything's looking good, compaction's looking good, it looks like it's getting hard. So, I forgot to ask Jed for the schedule. I know I talked to Mike last week about getting a schedule to us, so we could get you guys one updated, but as soon as this is over, I'll follow up on that and get that to you guys. So, as soon as we get the rock down, Mother Nature quits raining on us, maybe we get the rock down and maybe get some asphalt here towards the end of the month or first of the following.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's kind of what I got. You guys got any questions for me or anything?
I think you got hit pretty good last meeting, so.
Okay.
I can say you guys take care of that.
Okay. All righty. Thanks, guys.
Okay, thanks, Ian.
So, just, I know from talking to our inspectors, and I don't mean to speak for you guys, but just, I know they're working on a schedule, but they were targeting start getting surface down in the first week of October on phase 2. So, that's what we're looking at. I'd be happy to, I'm not sure what questions you might have or what we need to follow up on, but I'd be happy to deal with those questions. I brought Rick Walker, our senior project manager engineer, with me today too. Rick's been the one handling the design of the project, so be happy to, and I know he met in the field with Ryan, and to look at the issue on the north end. You guys are concerned about the drainage, so I'd be happy to have either of us answer questions.
That's the north end of phase 1, you mean?
Phase 2.
We're concerned about the drainage on phase 1, where it's running across the road and standing on the road.
Okay, Rick, you wanna?
Yeah, so, Rick Walker, CFS. We're working with KDOT through that. We have 2 plans. The first plan is to allow us to pipe through a berm between the KDOT right-of-way and the access road to the KDOT right-of-way, or the roadside ditch. That would provide the drainage for that low area adjacent to the building. If we are not successful in securing approval for that approach, we will, I'll bring forward a plan that would show an inlet at that low point. We will have to pipe about 150 feet to the north, and then under our new road to back to the east to the normal drainage pattern in the north of the airport, the north end of the airport. I'm still waiting on an answer from KDOT on the plan we submitted following our meeting with KDOT a couple weeks ago. So they've had my information all the last week. I was going to follow up with them today to see if they had any other questions or needed any more information regarding that approach to drainage.
So that, go ahead. So that water before went north and goes to that drainage under the runway. Does that work?
So prior to the new building is kind of sitting about at the high point. So actually that little window of area there naturally shed to
The
75 to the west.
Okay.
There's about a half an acre right in there that went that direction, and then it splits and goes north and east. There's a little pond on the airport property that everything kind of went through that draw, and then further on to the east, and then south of that, then there's another little pocket that drained to the west under the new road and into the KDOT roadside ditch.
So KDOT's water goes west there, does it?
KDOT's water, no, anything in the right-of-way is going pretty much south from about 800 feet or so north of this new building.
Okay.
There's the high point in the KDOT roadside ditch is about 800 feet north of that new building on the roadside.
Okay,
And then
it
that
all
all
went
comes south. The right-of-way generally was kind of where that was splitting, so KDOT right-of-way all drained to the KDOT right-of-way ditch, and then airport property was generally draining west. And then when you got about where we have that building sited, it's got really flat, and that is where it starts. A little bit of that area on the airport was working its way to the KDOT roadside ditch, and then the rest of it, kind of north and south of that, was working on around back to the east.
What would be the reason that KDOT wouldn't approve?
So they expressed the initial reservation to the previous plan, which was sheet grading into the KDOT ditch, was we would have reduced the capacity of their ditch. Now it's a fairly low flow, so they still would have had capacity, but because all we're draining is half of the highway, all KDOT's draining is half the highway and the grass right away, so it's not a lot of water. But they didn't want to lose that ditch depth that they had, which is what that would have. So could still have that same concern that even with a pipe through, they could be losing some of that capacity. But I shared my calculations for the flow in the various storm events, what that ditch depth is, and what that freeboard and capacity is in that system. And based on my calculations, there's not an issue with loss of capacity that would cause the roadside ditch to overflow and create a situation where it's backing up onto the airport property, or that it'd be spilling out somewhere else.
So that's going to be an added cost somewhat, correct?
There'll be there'll be what's required there to implement this is about a 20-foot piece of pipe to go through a berm between the access road and the KDOT.
And that's if KDOT,
if they approve it.
if they approve it.
Otherwise, then yes, there'll be added cost for an enclosed system to kick it up. That's the more expensive enclosed system solution. Definitely, that would. The small pipe, probably minimal, but.
Is there a possibility they won't approve it?
I think anything's possible.
What happens then if they don't let us dump water in there?
Well, that's what I said. The alternate is the enclosed system that will take it and convey it all on airport property. It's a little more expensive, but that would be the.
So you guys are the engineers on this. Why wasn't this all thought out before? We've got water standing on the road there that we pay big dollars for.
So the plan we had, it was thought out, and it was a sheet flow situation where we were cutting through, basically sheet flowing from the new road into the right-of-way ditch. It required about a foot to a foot and a half of cut right along the KDOT right-of-way line. That's what KDOT did not approve. That was the loss of capacity in the roadside ditch that they weren't comfortable with.
So, wait a minute. So this was done before KDOT approved it, therefore, it probably should have been done until we waited on KDOT to approve it.
A KDOT permit for the working right-of-way was required. I'll own that. I should have gotten KDOT approval of the plans. We had that approval requirement in the construction document, so we put that requirement on the contractor. When they started the construction process, they were working to get their land disturbance permit through KDOT, and the drainage permit it's a working right-of-way permit, was not part of that land disturbance permit that Kilo was acquiring, but we had the requirement in the contract for the contractor to take responsibility for that permit. In hindsight, that was probably not the best approach, and I own that. but we're working through it as best we can to get this solved.
So we're gonna end up having an additional cost.
If all goes as I have laid out in the plan, it will be minimal additional cost. There will be the cost of a 20-foot section of pipe to drain from the new road into the roadside ditch.
This is on the south of the building.
This is basically directly west of the building, so where the water is, that low point where that water is ponding now.
Where you got the pump pumping the water off the road into.
Yeah, I haven't been to the site, I'm not sure where the pump's sitting, so I can't directly answer that.
But that minimal cost is if KDOT approves that?
Yeah, right,
Is that right?
yeah.
If they don't approve it, then we have a lot more.
There'll be right, and that would be, I don't have a number for that because we haven't developed that plan, and got that costed by the contractor.
So, the water drainage study that was done out there, did it take into account the impervious surfaces of SSM, their building, their potential parking lot? Because obviously it's gonna shed water.
The bulk of the SSM property does not drain that, so the parking lot, the building, all drain to the north and onto airport property. We're not routing that to the KDOT roadside ditch, so the drainage calculations I provided, KDOT accounted for the additional impervious of the access road that would be draining to the KDOT right-of-way ditch.
So as far as potential growth out there, was any of that considered either? I mean, if we get something else that comes in out there, is it gonna present an issue later?
Well, because, no, it's not, because all of that potential growth area lies on the east side of the new access road.
Correct.
So all that natural drainage is onto property within the airport, and
So that would go to the east.
all goes to the east,
Okay.
correct. So it's not an impact to the
Capacity
of the KDOT right-of-way ditch or any other issues.
Well, we hope that KDOT will approve it.
Agreed. Yes. Yeah,
Just make a good argument to.
So you're current with all the state permits and everything up to where we're at right now? They're all happy? All the permits from the state have been issued to do what we've done so far? I didn't know if there's any work in the right of way that's...
To my knowledge, we are, that we have permission to put this, the only thing we have in there right away is the silt fence.
Okay.
So, just to keep, our, sediment from running in and filling that ditch, so.
So this phase one, does it actually get ditches cut into the east and the west side of that phase one road?
The access, so, it doesn't, but that's part of the new plan. So it was sheet flow. The existing topography south of the building, that's where it naturally drains to the east, so we were just taking advantage of that rather than enclosing or adding an underground system using gravity and sheet flow across the new road and then into the KDOT roadside ditch. To solve the issue that KDOT had with that loss of depth, we're proposing to cut a small road ditch on the access road side between the two, bring the water to that low point and then through the berm.
Over to the right of way?
The second phase, we had to do a more extensive ditching system because of grades and cut, but that first part, it's all pretty flat and, it's all gently sloped, so trying to maintain that and not, the challenge with an underground system in that area and deeper ditches is then finding a spot to outlet them if we end up deeper than, when you're already flat like that, it's a challenge to find that.
Sort of building the road up.
Right. And trying to optimize balanced earthwork on the building site and the road, probably maybe led us to be a little too aggressive on the balance and the earthwork and spent a little more money on dirt up front and brought it up in hindsight, might have made
Big difference.
the project a little bit easier right now.
Who's doing the daily inspections out there?
Our firm.
Yeah.
Can they provide us right now with logs?
Yeah, they can, I mean, I don't have them here, but yes, they can.
Because this is, from the other gentleman that was here a while ago, it seems like it's blind leading the blind with what's going on out there. We don't have permits up front, we don't have dirt work going right, we've got water standing in the road, it's going on, we've got an issue with topsoil, and it just seems like every entity that's involved is doing their own thing, but nobody's communicating.
Well, I know that with Ryan being put in charge by you guys, we're trying to communicate more closely with Ryan as the last couple of weeks to try to get this under control. I feel like we've had a good couple of meetings in that discussion, and we are awaiting a contractor to provide an updated schedule. I can certainly get logs from our field people as you.
But we have somebody every day on site.
Yes, we do. Again, I'll say also based on the contractor's work schedule, if he's got a rainy day, we're not gonna have somebody.
Sure,
you know,
that's
so,
understandable.
yeah.
And is there anything that and I didn't read it anywhere, but I've been told that there was part of this road that's cut across KDOT, not the road, but the access road that's cut across
Yeah.
KDOT.
Yeah, I mentioned the traffic study that they're requesting we provide, and you'd asked me to go back and take a look at the estimate there. I brought a number, I would reduce it quite a bit, significantly to do that study work. I think originally I brought in a number about $21,000 to do the whole study. You asked me to take another hard look at that, and I've done that. I've got something that I can present to you, but kind of wanted to work through these issues first before we move that forward.
But is that something that needs to be done?
It needs to be done, but it doesn't hold up their work, the construction of the road. The access exists today. This is KDOT questioning what the future traffic might be, and do we need a wider entrance? Do we need something on 75 Highway? We have contended, as I mentioned in the earlier meeting, that based on the initial numbers that SSM was providing, that wasn't necessary. They've asked us, they've come back and said, we're going to need you to do a study anyway. That's where it's at.
Ryan, would you like to interject on any of this?
Well, and I think, there was some misinterpretation. I believe we talked with the state and Rick, and they were under the assumption that it was that construction drive was going to be the permanent entrance.
Right.
And that's why they were requesting that study, and the state,
Right.
I realized they had a misunderstanding there on what the drive that you were looking at doing a study on. And so the state relayed that they did not need that traffic study to be done because there was just a misinterpretation on which drive was going to be the permanent drive. They thought that construction drive was gonna wind up being the permanent drive, and so that's why they were asking for that information.
Right.
So we don't need a
We don't need
traffic
to do it
study.
then. No, we don't need to.
Until SSM starts, for their initial 30 employees, it's very minimal, that traffic, but if they go up to 100 or 150 employees, then that's when that would trigger
That
the
would
need.
change
You would
that.
want to look at that intersection at the airport and see if there's something needed to get people more safely
But
on.
until that time, why?
Exactly.
Okay.
The trigger's going to be the ramp up at SSM or another building out there.
Sure.
Thank you for the clarification. Appreciate it.
Are you guys, Ryan, with the water, with getting away from the south end of SSM into the ditch or off the road, are you guys satisfied with what they're talking about doing?
Well, I mean, I think I haven't seen what the plans yet on that. I know there's a couple ideas there, but I mean, I think, Keith's kind of looked at that some, and so, I think we're in agreement that maybe we should look at doing some ditches or something along there, like Rick has talked about. this morning some, but.
Right. So it sounds like from what you're talking about is the drainage between the frontage road and the highway ditch.
Yes.
And I was concerned about just the drainage, the very flat slopes on the east side of the road. Asphalt, nice asphalt road, and very little drainage there. And then, of course, how does it get to the KDOT ditch eventually? But before it gets there, it needs to get under the road somehow. It needs to, I'm just concerned that it's not going to drain very well. And you got a nice asphalt road
Yes.
that could be affected. So,
Right.
I don't know how, if you have a proposal to improve the drainage, get it from the east side of the access road to the KDOT ditch.
Yeah, and I'll share that with, basically it's in creating a V ditch on each side of the access roads down to that low point, so we would go, I should have had
On each side of the access road.
each side of the low point, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
And that's for the pipe,
Right.
That, so that would direct the water to that pipe that
Right,
you're.
we'll have a roadside ditch between the KDOT right-of-way and our new road. Bring everything to that low point about where it is now, through the berm at the right-of-way and into the KDOT ditch. So, south of the new building, very flat. We had a grading, kind of an overall concept for what new buildings would look like and how that would be graded and drained.
Yeah, that's something I haven't seen. I haven't seen
Right.
anything about the new buildings or
Well, and
what's
those,
going to go on there, but I'm just concerned about the very, very flat.
On the
slopes
east
on
side of
each
the road.
Yeah.
On the east side of the road.
Yeah.
south of the new building or?
Yeah. I guess that's right. Yeah.
Between Cansteel and SS.
Yeah. It just looked like it's going to have difficult time grading.
So do I understand correctly, on the east side of phase one, south of the new building, that water potentially is supposed to go east through the grass there? Is that what you're saying? That's why we don't need a ditch along the
Well,
road?
there's a good part of that goes, there's an existing, a new pipe we put in right next to near the Cansteel parking lot that drains, will drain west and into the KDOT right-of-way ditch. So the southern 600 feet or so, or our first 600 feet drains to a collection point and under our new road. That pipe's already in.
So from the new building,
Uh-huh.
that on the east side of the road, that water comes south?
A good portion of, yeah, most of that comes south and into that, it's a roughly, half an acre, third of an acre, something like that is drained south and under the road at
Next to
just north of
next to
Cansteel's parking
Cansteel.
lot. Sorry.
Okay, next to Cansteel.
Yeah, right. And there's an existing low point, it's the pattern that's there now.
Okay,
If you've
but
been
you
out
don't think we need a small ditch on the east side of the road to help bring that water along there rather than run right along the edge of the pavement? It is, and I haven't walked on it,
Yeah.
okay, but it doesn't look like the road's much higher than where that water's gonna be running. Am I?
I think you're right. When there's a berm on the east side of that road, and the road is sunken, it's lower than the elevations on both sides of the road. And they're having to pump water up onto the west side, and there's a berm on the east side where water's running down it. There's a drop off on that road. It's not level.
we'll take a look at it.
Yeah. And I feel, I'm like, wait, there needs to be something cut on the east side of that to allow water. 'Cause I mean, we don't get gentle rains anymore. When it rains, we get good ones. And we don't need water standing on a multi-$1,000 road, 100,000, whatever it is on that.
We'll take a look at that.
Okay. Okay.
Have we resolved the topsoil?
I wasn't aware, I don't know what that question is.
It will be delivered back to wherever Ryan tells them to put it this week.
I think it's consult that with Darren and whatever, where I think a good site for that would be. And maybe it's too wet to move it down,
So
so.
that'd be it. I mean, we'll definitely don't want to tear anything up, getting it back in there.
Right,
But,
right.
yeah, I've been talking with Darren.
Too wet to move
So-
it down.
I'll get with Mike and get that scheduled.
Okay, okay, but it just will be hard when they're doing that, it's my thought,
Yeah.
rather.
No, we don't want to tear
Take
anything
a
up.
mess and. Ryan, do you have anything else to add, or?
When you guys pull something together, you share with our guys before you start in on that.
Sure.
There is more asphalt to go on phase one road too.
Right.
I was gonna say, there's
I mean,
still, what,
Yeah, 2 inches, I
2 inches?
believe, is what's left to go on that new road.
That would help some. Anybody got any further questions for him? You guys have anything else? Okay, we sure appreciate you all coming in, thank you. Should give it, maybe let's give you a call. So, Saban, you got something for us on this water study?
Yeah.
We got you on the agenda here.
just, I do have a kind of a summary that I can provide. I'm just gonna go through. All the copies here, hang on. Sort these out a little bit. Just some summaries of what I'm gonna cover. And I will attempt not to read through it. I guess I want to start too by saying that we sent over the draft study to Carl and Jenny last week. And I guess I want to reiterate too, one, we appreciate the opportunity to do this. It has taken a little bit longer because we have, it made sense, believe it or not, to, when we started this work, we needed to kind of rely on the water districts because they have hired firms to do their work, modeling work and all that, rather than having you all pay for us to redo that work. We utilize those firms as sub-consultants. So part of our work has been just trying to get work out of those sub-consultants to get this further along. And I want to start by saying that I'm gonna actually provide you additional updates to this here in the next couple of weeks because we just recently received the information from Coffee 2 on they finished up and that had to go through approval of their board on September the 8th. So now they sent that to us last week. And then we also got some information from the Anderson Water District, which provides a little bit of water to your northeast kind of Waverly area.
That's what for.
Yeah. And so we want to integrate that into these results. So I'll probably come back with some more update. But in summary, the big bulk of this work that's been done was where the bulk of your water supply is at, which is Coffee 3 and Wholesale 12. What drove this study was initially the possibility of development of Beetle Junction. And this document, the short version, this is the actual document, and there's more appendices that we've sent to Jenny and Carl. But I can kind of go through the overview of these that are in the notes here. I guess one other thing too, I reached out to the City of Burlington to try to get some of their information as to their system as well, to get that into these notes as we get this thing wrapped up. And so we're hoping to get some of their information. We have not received anything from them yet.
When did you send that request in?
Well, we had one actually months ago, and then we have followed up just in the last week to see if we can find out if we can work with their engineer to do that.
And nothing yet?
No, nothing else. So anyway, the system overview for what Public Wholesale District number 12, from the reports of, they supply 12 rural water districts and municipalities in Osage, Coffee, Anderson, and Franklin County, including Coffee 3. They currently operate a 1.2 million gallon per day conventional treatment facility near Melbourne Lake, with a Kansas Water Office contract of nearly 600,000 million gallons per year of allocation. The infrastructure system includes 3 storage facilities. The size of those are listed here. They have about 135 miles of PVC distribution line, ranging from 3 to 12 inches. Their production capacity, gets into identified needs. The existing 1.2 million gallons per day is undersized. In the summer of 2023, the plant ran continuously for 13 days at 24-hour operation demand. While the plant was originally flagged for major expansion to serve the KSMC, or honestly Beetle Junction Industrial Park, the underlying issues remain. The existing and future members' maximum contract volumes cannot be met with current facilities. So the recommendation was to construct new treatment capacity, beginning with a 3 million gallon per day treatment train to meet anticipated growth, and then followed by an additional train to replace the aging system. The distribution system part of it, the current trunk lines can deliver the minimum contract volumes, but not maximum values across all members. The 12-inch trunk main, a critical conveyance installed in the mid-1990s, has experienced 6 to 7 breaks in the last year, raising concerns about long-term reliability. The recommendation there is construct redundant or future supply mains at a cost of $22 to $28 million to provide delivery flexibility and relieve stress on their aging infrastructure. As far as storage, the existing storage is insufficient for supported expansion. The recommendation was to add 1.5 million gallon of a new Clearwell storage and a 1 million gallon per day tower storage near the Beetle Junction site. The financial and contractual numbers were calculated by their engineer, showing the wholesale rates of $5 per 1,000 gallons, increasing to $5.50 in 2025. And then O&M costs of $4.50 per 1,000 gallons. With expanded production and improved economies of scale, they could decline that to $3.45 per 1,000 gallons. Their current debt is right around $3.6 million in refinance bonds that retire in 2037. Again, Wholesale 12 is a sole source of supply for many members, including rural District 3. A future obligation would include a new 6-inch main to Franklin District 4, estimated at, .7 to 3.8 million, depending on the alignment and the scope. That's something they have to look through. Recommended capital improvements, a new treatment capacity, you can see the total, 114 million. Replacement of existing plant at 25 million, redundant supply mains at 22 to 27 million. And then the Franklin Water Connection, again, that's all that was identified in our work in looking at what Rural District Wholesale 12 is looking at. As far as the implications to Water District number 3, although the KSNC project has been canceled, the site remains highly suitable, as we've talked about, for industrial and commercial development. Rural District 3 must assume that some level of high demand growth will eventually occur there, requiring this coordination with Wholesale 12. The reliability, system reliability, Water District 3's reliance on Wholesale 12 means any limitations in production, storage, or trunk line reliability directly impact the ability to serve new developments at the Vito Junction site. So the financial considerations, Wholesale 12's wholesale rate increases and new debt obligations will flow into the operating costs of Water District 3. These impacts must be modeled in Water District 3's long-term rate schedule structure. Our one thought here in strategic coordination is the two districts should engage in joint capital planning to ensure the timing of local expansion of projects align with wholesale system upgrades. This was something that we had been working on when the KSMC project was taking place. Those districts were involved, but then that has all stopped when that project stopped. So that would need to be re-engaged. Even without KSMC, the need for expanded supply storage remains because of the system being tapped, and Water District 3's needs, regardless of Vito Junction, will continue to grow. So even though in the conclusion, even though the semiconductor project will not move forward, the system pressures identified in the Wholesale District 12 report, limited treatment capacity, aging trunk lines, insufficient stores, and rising wholesale rates, it still remains an urgent issue. Water District 3, for Water District 3, the cancellation of the KSMC should not reduce the priority for planning for growth at the location or at other high demand sites. The master plan for Water District 3 should recognize the dependency of Wholesale 12. It should plan for future development at the industrial site at Vito. It should incorporate projected wholesale rate adjustments and debt service impacts. And Water District 3's staging of expansion projects should be in alignment with Wholesale 12's expansion plans. So that's the summary of the results of what we have received and worked through with the major supplier to the county. As I mentioned, we'll be bringing back more reports as we integrate those into the final document. But probably no surprises here, other than I think the biggest issue that came forward was that they are at their capacities now at Wholesale 12. That was
because they've got the supply, they just don't have the capacity.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Correct. Correct. And that was information that was revealed when we were doing the KSMC project.
Right, but they had that problem before any.
Before any of it.
Right.
Correct. Correct.
So essentially what I'm gathering from this is if there's any growth to occur at Vito, Wholesale 12 needs to put a new plant in. And you're gonna get into the situation where you're gonna have water for the sites to be considered by companies coming in. So we're kind of in a catch-22 here with this.
Right.
But isn't that District 12's plan is to expand that, I mean,
They seemed agreeable. is
That
my
was the
recollection.
plans they discussed with us when we were working on the KSMC
Right,
project.
right.
Yes. And that and then there would be, again, this gets out of my bailiwick because it was getting involved in how the funding and financing was gonna come about. But that was recognized, yes.
Right.
Carl, this is kind of your field, you got anything you wanna throw out?
The one thing I want to add was, is Public Pool Softball does have flexibility, because they're dependent upon water marketing contract at this time. When we was having those talks with, Kansas Water Office on the amount of water, they had also stressed the, looking at the option of going down on the Missouri, Mariners River.
Yeah.
Right.
Right, because we could get into water marketing contracts, which would give them more security within long-term availability of water. So it goes into how far do you want to plan into the future. The one thing we always want to keep in mind is he's mentioned in here in the reports is we keep talking about increased trunk lines. We want to be talking about how much. We didn't put how much, there's nothing, how big of a water main do we have. There's also right now, there's some little bit of room in there for us to move right now, but it's back in the water report. They were sent to Jenny and I on the evaluation, wasn't in some. So there's a little bit of information in there about the availability of water we have right now that I think is very valuable for the decision-making process also. And now we're getting water data from the city of Burlington now, so we will have a more complete picture of what's going to occur within the future. The only other question I had for Saban was, as we talked about the upgrades to the water distribution systems, can hydrants be put into that, fire hydrants? Because the original study started 2022 maybe, was we were talking about a fire evaluation, how that can be done. And the current one is Coffee Tree doesn't support any fire hydrants at this time. So one of my questions would be, can we support that into the future with the expansion of the water mains? Is that something that could be done?
I think that was part of our planning, all along, we started discussions with, PEC and the engineers, was that any future planning should account for that, because that was an issue that was brought up by all the fire districts a couple of years ago. Now, I need to double check in the report, I don't know if they addressed that in the report, but yeah, that was something that if you remember, for those that, we actually started this with a meeting that was called by the fire districts to say, hey, we want to look at this, so.
And it was just something I thought as we grow and expand, especially since it's identified with the northern corridor up there, that's something we can look at as we move down the road too, incorporate in there, to help out the firefighters.
Well, helps out their ISO ratings
Yeah.
too, for insurance, so needs to happen.
Has there
Same
been
thing
any
with the
planning yet
airport.
as towards meetings as far as long-term planning between Public Pool Sub 12 and Coffee 3?
No, we haven't, we wanted to do this first, and then we'll go from there.
Is any of this taking into consideration, the southern part of the county?
Those are the reports that I'm waiting to merge in, I'll come back to you with those. We just got those.
Concerns that came to me that people can't get on, or there's not enough water down there, pressure.
Yeah, we were, actually, when we had the meeting with the fire districts a couple of years ago, they were the ones, the southern part was kind of the fire issue was really more southern, I think. Yeah, so, having just got those reports, we'll work up another and be back to present that information as well.
Who was it you contacted from the engineering firm or the city for the data?
Schwab Eaton, I don't, right?
Was it Jeff?
I don't have his information.
If it was Jeff, he's no longer there. He's with the city of Salina.
Okay.
I will get in touch with Schwab.
Okay, that'd be helpful, thank you.
Thank you.
That southern part is what, 2? Is that 2?
Two.
2 and a little bit of 3.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there a chance sometime you can meet with Jenny and I to talk over what we have now? So as we look at what we have now for the airport and up at Vito, we have a little bit better picture of
Absolutely.
what can occur, what cannot occur, because I know that she gets a lot of feedback and a lot of questions.
No, we'd be happy to.
And just from kind of me reviewing the study and kind of doing some research, I mean, I know when we were talking about the original KSMC project, they were looking at needing over 1 million gallons a day for water for the CHIPS boundary and for what they're planning to put out there. I will say we're kind of shifting, if we still want to grow, you know, out towards the airport or the Vito industrial site, if we're looking at light industrial or advanced manufacturing, or I know it's been brought up like data centers or something like that, it's probably at this time not going to need over 1 million gallons a day, but you may be looking at still hundreds of thousands.
But originally, with chips, I think they were talking 2 to 5 originally.
Yeah, and I think
And that's- and
the
that
last
was-
figure I had was like 1.2 million.
Right, but originally, I think it was 2 to 5 million
Right.
a day, and that's what they were,
Right, and even with other, you know, advanced manufacturing, you still may be talking about a need of several 100,000 gallons a day just to start growing out there.
Per location.
Yeah,
So,
so,
need
you
to
know,
be
that's a
planning
big
for a lot
consideration.
more in my mind.
Needs to be sized for growth.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, at least I think our initial, after we had an initial discussion a couple months ago, we kind of left the numbers at KMC because we were thinking of the very issues that we're talking about here, that they're,
Yeah.
we don't know what type of industrial is gonna go in
That's
there,
right.
we do know what's contacting today.
but I think that's the numbers you need to go off of,
Yeah.
is what,
At least that much.
at least that much, because that's what started this.
Right. So that, we've kind of left that as our platform for now, just for planning purposes, and then we can figure out as the districts start working together, then you could probably have phased growth approach,
Sure.
and construction.
Right, because really, I mean, you're talking about, a lot of it, comes down to, capacity for energy, capacity for water, and kind of that, you grow to what the capacity is. So, planning for as much capacity helps out for future industrial and commercial growth, and then also for our communities to grow as well.
Right.
I'm sure you're all reading the amazing rapid growth of data centers is nationwide, and they're looking now more to areas like rural district areas, and so the water power becomes a big issue.
Right, and I will say, I think we're gonna see in the next 5 years, there is a shift to using different types of water cooling systems that are a little bit less
Yeah.
reliant on water. They still use water, but not in the millions of gallons a day that, you know, maybe
And back to the
originally.
recycling systems that we were starting to get information on before.
Do these systems in the county, I'm not real sure, I know there's rural water 3, rural water 2, with the collection agency drawing water out, purifying it, can they piggyback off one another? Like one district needs more water, another can kick in?
I think typically, they can, if they have agreements between them on how they can share those supplies. And usually those are based on, thresholds of emergency situations or things of that nature, but, the systems are independent, I mean, in that regard, but they would need to have that built into whatever agreements they would
I
have.
would think that would be beneficial if we go to the volume of water that you're talking about, removing from the lake and treating. Or if something happened, we can continue to supply water for the rest of the county, if they need to be during a crisis or something.
The systems are not producing the water, they're just delivering it.
You're delivering
So,
the distribution.
Yeah.
And that's within the proposal, you got the proposal in there for the new trunk lines.
Yeah.
And what that would do, I would think we would want to strategically make sure that we got the bigger mains where we know that we need the water for the future, like towards the airport, towards
Good.
Vito.
Yeah.
And then the interchange between the two.
Or even to go on
South.
way south of town, it would
Yes.
be this part of my goal. Yeah.
I would agree.
I'll be back with more as we start getting those other pieces put in, and we'll come back with additional reporting.
Very good.
Thank you.
Do you know about how far down the line that'll be before you?
Well, we just got those 2 reports last week, so I say, I'm hoping maybe 2 to 3 weeks. It shouldn't take us long to, take those results, look at how it merges into this, and then come back with a similar summary that we can go over.
Okay.
Yep.
Sounds
good.
Yeah. Very good. Any other questions?
Well, thank you for the update.
So, we want to take a break, or we want to go ahead and get Jenny here get her done? Good morning, Jenny, Department Update. Economic Development Director.
Alright, I just thought I would, go ahead and give you guys a couple updates on some stuff I've been working on. I kind of put together a list of some of the stuff I've been working on the last month or two that maybe, you guys don't know as much about. You know, obviously some of the bigger projects, I've been working on that have been coming through my office with the water study, with some of the different, financial or county incentives and things like that. But some of the other stuff I just wanted to make sure you guys knew we've been working on in my office. One, I think I did email you guys that we received a Network Community Solutions grant for $10,000 about a month ago. So we're working with Osage County, Anderson County, and Lynn County, possibly even Franklin County is kind of going to come in and help us with this to do a small business development training in the spring. We're going to bring in a national speaker. I was able to go down to Iola and hear him speak this last month, and I think it's going to be really good for our small businesses. His whole thing is talking about marketing your business as a destination, so I think that'll be really good. We also submitted an application for a Kansas tourism marketing grant that we would be partnering with Osage County. We're looking at trying to increase traffic on the 75 highway corridor. So obviously that runs through Osage and then also through Coffee County. If we receive that, it'd be $10,000 for a marketing campaign next year to try to attract more people from the bigger cities in Kansas, but also from other states as well. There's also, there's a seed grant out right now from Department of Commerce for $25,000 for libraries, community vibrancy, childcare, food systems. I sent a message out to all of the city clerks to see if there was an interest from anybody or anybody needed help on an application. I found out the city of Lebo did already submit an application for community building signage and then some also decorations downtown. But I've also had interest from the library and the Burlington Learning Center, or Burlington Early Learning Center, so I may be talking with them here in the next couple of weeks to see if they want to submit an application. I think the library said they may want some new furniture, the grant could provide for that, and then the Early Learning Center for some, I'm not sure, I haven't talked to Lexi yet, but for some kind of a project for them. Some other local projects I've been working on, obviously you guys know I've been working with the Coffee County Veterinary Services, with Dominic Eck from Gilmore and Bell on their industrial revenue bond that they presented to you guys. I've been working with Patrick with the 75 Development Housing Project. They're putting together the moderate income housing grant, so I've been trying to help get some letters of support and some other information for that grant. And then also I've just had some other, few other businesses or entrepreneurs that have called our office just asking about things like some of these other incentives, like what kind of things the county has. A lot of people call because they're looking for commercial or industrial space and just looking for information about where or who they could talk to in the county if they're interested in opening a business here. So I'm just trying to gather those resources, working with realtors, providing that information. Last month, Coffee County hosted the Southeast Kansas Tourism Group meeting over in Leroy. So Sheree with Chamber of Commerce kind of took the lead on that, but I helped her. It was a really good meeting. We had a lot of our local, not a lot, but some local businesses attend, and then also people from other counties, like other chambers and other businesses. They did a presentation on agritourism. It was pretty interesting. And that's something we do have a few businesses here in the county that may be interested in that. We had a kickoff meeting with our grant program officers for the RAISE grant. So we met with the Federal Highway Administration on that, and we did get a draft grant agreement. Garrett Nordstrom's been helping me work through that because I haven't done one of those for a grant like that. So we got it submitted. They're probably going to send it back, and then we'll have to send them another draft before we get to the point where you guys can sign off on it. So once we get the final draft, I'll get it to you guys to sign it, and hopefully we can move forward on that pretty soon. We already have the RFP for an engineering firm. We haven't sent it out yet, so we've got that in hand. Once we get the agreement signed, then we can move forward on that. Once the agreement goes through, you know, we've had to push dates back because it's been a little bit longer. When we were originally awarded it, we thought we were going to be able to move on it sooner. So now we're looking at like the budget can go through the end of 2027 if we needed to. So we've got plenty of time to get the design and planning done for that. What else have we been working on? I was approached by the Chamber of Commerce, and we do have a new partnership with the Small Business Development Center out of Pittsburgh. So with SBDC, we used to have kind of a partnership where there was an office in Emporia at Emporia State. That office is no longer there, so our designated SBDC office here in the county is now all the way down in Pittsburgh, which is quite a drive, especially if you're a small business person and you're working all day to try to get down there. So we've contracted to have one of their staff members come to Burlington once a month from 10 to 2 or, you know, however long she needs to be here. She was here one day. She already met with a couple small businesses. We got really good feedback from them. She decided she's actually going to be here again tomorrow, so she's going to come an extra day this month because there's been so much interest. I think she's got a full schedule tomorrow when she comes in to meet with people. So
It sounds like the chamber is very active right now in all parts of the county.
yes, so Cherie has been wonderful. We email back and forth, sometimes multiple times a day. We meet and talk on the phone. So she's been a wonderful resource, and just and their board has been very supportive. So it's been helpful for me just getting started in my office to have that support. So that's been going really well. And we've also been working a lot on, like with our tourism board and trying to do some different marketing ideas for our county to try to bring in some more tourism or just help our businesses out with marketing. I know the chamber just did a full page ad in Southeast Kansas Living that has information. We've got the Visit Coffee County website is live. We still need to do some more adding to it. At the top it says it's under construction, but we've been working on that to try to kind of drive traffic to that Visit Coffee County with the idea of if you're passing through or you're planning to come here, you could go there and just kind of get a quick snapshot of stuff to do here. So we've got that. I've been working with a new company, a couple guys out of Chanute called the Serial Lens Media. They're going to be doing some video and photography, some different media that we can have to use on like our website or for we want to do a magazine ad or something like that, just to have that, because I'm not a great videographer or photographer, so to have that, to be able to use it will be really helpful. We're also going to be trying out some rotating ads in Travel Kansas on their website. They get a lot of traffic for tourism in our state, so we're going to try some ads kind of down at the bottom of the page, and then also specifically on the Where to Fish page, because we want to really be marketing our local fishing and outdoor recreation. I think we could do some more stuff with that. So all of that we're working on. We've done a couple fun little projects, not major things, but like one of the things I'm working on with the libraries is to do a postcard writing contest. So just, you know, we've got big projects, little things like this I think are important too. If anybody once a postcard. I have a whole stack of them in my office, but we've been trying to get people to just send a postcard to somebody you know that doesn't live here and say like, hey, you thought about Coffee County recently? Showed the photo that's on the front of it, and we've got those at all the library branches. So if anybody just wants to, drop a line, it's just kind of a fun thing we're doing. And then the last thing, there's something I'm going to be working on. It's not a grant, but it's something through Patterson Foundation and the Center for Rural Innovation. They're launching a pilot program called Heartland Rural Innovators. It's basically like a technical assistance cohort for communities that are wanting to grow their technology and innovation economies, specifically rural, so you have to be less than 50,000 for your community. It's something I think I'm going to try to apply for, and if we get it, we would get a tech economy assessment just to see if we're ready to expand. I know with some of our projects we're thinking about advanced manufacturing or tech industry, and then we'd get to be part of that cohort with 5 other rural communities in Kansas. So things like that are good for me just because I don't have a background in the tech sector. So, something I'm looking at. But just staying busy.
You sound like it.
Did you guys have any questions for me? And obviously I've been helping with the buildings that we've got here in Burlington and Leroy. So I've been working with Mike in the hospital, and talked to Cameron Ross last week about getting keys and just making sure he's got what he needs to.
Very good.
Cool. I'm going to stick around. I know Patrick is on the agenda next, so I'll let him talk, but I'll be here in case you need anything.
Okay. Thank you, Jay.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm back.
Patrick Wood, discuss RHID, IRB, and county incentives. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you hearing me out again today. This handout here was actually for last time, but and it just goes over what we've already talked about with the RHID and the IRB and the possible county participation. So the first part, the MIH, we got that all taken care of in the last meeting. The RHID, I guess today we're just going, if you have any questions on that and how that would be handled on the county's behalf. We're ready to get with Gilmore Bell and get signed up with them as soon as you release us to approve it.
So what's the next step?
Once you approve it, then we get our contract signed with Gilmore Bell, put our deposit down with them, and then they start doing their due diligence and going out to the school districts and the city and everybody to get signed off on that part of it.
So I guess really you're just asking for our support for the RHID and the IRB bonds?
Yes. And then I do have, this is, Wade asked me to give you an example of what I've asked for other municipalities. And that's just a letter that I got from the last one I did in Fort Scott, and that's what they were gonna provide. That's not saying anything,
But this is an example.
this is just an example what they came up with. Yes, they're all the same.
I got two of them. So, you need another one down there.
And I guess the biggest part of the county participation is mostly for the MIH grant. They really want to make sure that everybody has a vested interest in the project and that we're all working together as a community project, so.
So this one in Fort Scott, this was within city limits, was it?
So do we need a resolution to do this like we did the MIH?
Typically, I think that's what other municipalities have done for us.
It's a form driven, similar to what you presented last week, right?
Yes.
Just fill in the blanks. Do you have that
I do.
form available?
I can get one, yes, but I didn't bring one with me.
You gave it to us last week.
It's,
No.
is that the resolution? Or maybe that's something different. Is that what you presented?
That's the MIH resolution.
Okay, right, okay.
It'd be
It'd be
just
similar.
just similar, just
Different grades?
different
Right.
verbiage.
That could be presented in a week. You wouldn't necessarily need to be here. They could review it and talk about it.
Yep, that'd be fine. At least I can check the box and do my narrative and my application for the MIH if we do that.
And that would be, the resolution would be on the MIH, correct?
No, we already
Oh,
did that.
that's it.
Yep, so it would be number 2 and 3.
Okay. I'll get it straight.
No, you're fine. I've presented a lot of information to you, so I understand.
You're not the only one. I don't see the problem.
I don't see any problem.
So on the RHID, we're talking about RHID.
Yep, yep.
I think.
Okay, so, I mean, if we approve that, I mean, there's, basically, we're foregoing our county tax, right? Except for the baseline
Yes.
on the property. That says for up to 25 years. I think before, we said it might be more like 15 or something.
Right now, and do not hold me to it, right now it's penciling out at about 10. But Gilmore Bell will handle all that once they see what our figures are and they figure it all out, but not that part of it.
Didn't we talk about a sliding one?
Well, we did on the IRB for the past one that we did.
For the veterinary office.
For the veterinary.
Okay.
I think that's what we're talking about. And that was gonna be negotiated.
But that'll be negotiated later on.
Later on.
We're not committing to what.
No, Gilmore Bell,
Person
that's,
says.
I leave that in their hands to say how many years payback that'll take for the amount of construction that we're doing, so.
Right.
You basically just need our support to get the paperwork for the application started.
Yes. Yeah, and then.
Because without the support, then that, I mean, what they look for is a county support.
Yeah, so regardless, though, if we don't get the MIH, we're still going forward with the development, and the RHID and the IRB are still they're kind of our foundation of the whole project. And so we'll still use those incentives, but everything will go a little bit slower out there without the MIH.
Good to me.
Yeah. So all we,
We're not getting tax from it now.
no,
So I feel, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I don't want to see it for 25 years. My opinion, but, yeah.
Yeah, so how that works is, say we have $500,000 in infrastructure costs. So, we can, and say that we do one house and their property tax is $5,000. So, we can take, once that house is finished, and they pay their first taxes on that house, then we can recoup those taxes against our $500,000 until that's paid off.
so all we need to do is say next week, do the resolution. And then that would satisfy what you're needing. Is that correct?
You do the resolution, and then I can finish my MIH grant narrative, and then I can contact Gilmore Bell and get the ball rolling on their end to start making the contacts.
Good.
Okay? Any questions on the county buy-in, or is there any possibilities of, do you have a supply house that we can buy culverts from at cost, or your rock quarries, can we buy at cost, or anything like that, that at least I could do a narrative for something like that?
Ryan, helping out there?
I mean, yeah, we have culvert suppliers and quarries in the county that we purchase rock from. I mean, so.
Piping materials and stuff like that?
I mean, corrugated metal pipes is about what we deal with.
No PVC pipe for water lines or anything like that?
Of course, I don't know, do we really get a special rate, like with the quarry or anybody?
I mean, honestly, like the culverts, we work with the cities, you know, if they need some culverts, we get our costs, but we don't usually go to the public or anything like that, but is that, so I don't know how that works in with this, but.
We don't own any of the quarries.
Yeah, we don't, yeah.
I mean, it's something we could sit down and just discuss and see, like, I don't know if that's any, you said you haven't worked with any developers or anything like that.
No.
Okay. Well, if you can think, it's just, all I'm really looking for is just, even if it may not seem like much to you, but on the application, it is, because it's showing that the county is participating.
I see. Okay.
So even if it's just pennies on the dollar that we'd be saving or anything like that, it still helps me out on the application, so.
So could you even say that, like, you're working with the county economic development and, road and bridge, to see if there's any, avenues that could lead to cost savings? Because I know that's what they're looking for with the Kansas Housing Resource Corp, is if they're providing funding, they just want to see that, like, the counties and cities, like you said, are working with the developer.
Yeah, they're gonna want more than just working towards something. I try not to do that, because I can put that on 90% of the questions, so.
Yeah.
But.
Have you addressed the water districts about their willingness to help you with your water supply in that little area?
No, I have not, but that's a good idea.
I mean, would they be willing to come run your mains, and then from the main to the house would be yours?
That's a good question. I will look into that. Typically not. I didn't think of it, because usually once they get it to the development, they stop for us. But I will look into that.
But they're all revenue generating infrastructure, I mean, the returns there for
100 years.
I don't know whether we could do kind of a pass-through, like on culverts or anything. Wade, is that anything? Haven't done that
I tell you,
before.
I don't like it, because then you're providing a benefit to somebody that you wouldn't to somebody else. There's probably some other ways to think about it, but that's what comes up. Just thinking about it from if somebody else came in and you're getting wholesale prices for something, then are you gonna do it for somebody else? You sort of open up
That's my concern.
Pandora's box.
Yeah.
So there's probably a way to do it, and, you know, in this, they've agreed to provide some up to $85,000. They're not necessarily providing that type of benefit, so maybe providing something similar that would help aid or assist, and then
Right.
you could then purchase whatever it is you need, and then it's going through you, not the county, if that makes sense. To me, I think that would be a better option, and maybe you can explain, and I appreciate you bringing this in, this is helpful. So water line, sewer line, demolition, did Fort Scott just provide the funding to allow?
No, they were actually doing in-kind work on that.
Okay.
But like you said, that's in the city of Fort Scott.
This was on top of the work done plus 85,000?
No, that was,
It's all the same?
yeah,
Okay,
so
okay, I got you.
the 85,000 was, I got bids on that stuff originally, and then they came in and said, well, we can do that work. And they actually wanted to do that work because it tied into some of their mains and stuff, so.
We can demo all the houses out
Yeah.
there for you.
There is a corral. Let me think about that a little bit more then, and see what we can come up with there.
Yeah.
In the right terminology.
Maybe you could reach out to some of the other communities or firms that have done this and kind of do some idea searching on what else is out there and come back with this and maybe help us set a bell off in our heads that we
Okay.
can help you with.
I will do that. Wade, did you get to look at this that I emailed you?
And you referenced the wording at the bottom. I mean, it seems like it's
Fairly generic.
well, it's boilerplate for that program, and that if anybody wants to pursue that, they've got to review and sign that same form, right?
Right, yes.
So,
I just sent this to Wade earlier in the week because I knew that this was going to be coming up. But that's the actual application for the MIH. Angie's getting some more copies. I only brought two to get signed, but this is where your duty comes in, Wade. This is the first document that will come up.
Let's see.
I have another question, I guess. I guess it would be related to the RHID.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that basically provides the incentives to provide your upfront costs, I guess, on the infrastructure and everything. I mean,
Yeah, it's basically a long-term financing where we get paid back over the 10 years or 15 years.
and my question is, okay, the infrastructure's put in up front, who maintains it afterwards? Who's responsible for it?
It would be, the development will have an HOA.
The development will have an HOA, so they're responsible for all the maintenance of
Yeah.
infrastructure.
Oh, you are making that an HOA up there?
Yeah, to start out with anyway, and then once it's
Covenants.
full, filled up with,
Putting covenants is on?
there will be some, yes.
And that be a hindrance for prospective buyers?
Well, it depends on who you talk to.
It's actually an attracting component for some, because you can control your environment and not have.
And with some, it's too controlling.
Correct.
Yeah, it's, so what we're gonna do is limit the size of the outbuildings, things like that. You can have the outbuildings, but we're talking about doing, outbuildings no greater in size than the total square footage of your house, things like that, so.
Same style finishes on them, I mean, you can really get pretty descriptive on them.
Square footage and value. Nothing against barndominiums, but we didn't wanna put a nice house up and then have cause you can have a $500,000 barndominium and a $5,000 house, but do they mesh right next to each other, so.
So you're wanting an autograph.
I am wanting an autograph.
So,
Specifically yours.
which place do I talk?
And they have my glasses.
Says applicant signature.
Yeah, you just, both of them are yours, so that one's the, oops, sorry. That's just your printed name, and then the next one is your signature.
Oh, okay. Okay, all right.
We need to make a motion.
Yeah. We would need to do that.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we're all in agreement.
Yeah, because on this one, it had, on the original, it had the mayor's name, and I think originally you were going through the, city of Lebo.
Yes.
And that,
Yeah, so all you're signing right here is, there's an application part that I'm filling out, and all of this and that all of that and that have to go together with part of for the grant.
We need
Jenny has been doing a great job for us. A lot of the times we have a tough time getting through the gatekeepers with the businesses and different things to get letters of recommendation. And so she's been managing that for us to get some of those letters for us.
That's at least one thing I can help with.
Okay. I'll make a motion to authorize and direct the chairman to sign the Kansas Housing Resource Corporation application for the moderate income housing program in the amount of $600,000. Barker has seconded. Do we have any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
All right, so Jenny, you're gonna represent me next week?
Yeah, I can do that, to get the resolution passed.
Yes.
Thank you. Appreciate your interest.
You bet,
Okay.
thank you. I think next week should be the last time I bother you for a while.
just good luck with the project. Good luck with the project.
Yes, thank you. We're excited and,
I'm almost done, just so you guys know, I'm probably about 50% right now. I feel comfortable about the application, so.
Good.
It's been, just getting all the information put together. All the outside stuff that has to come in and take some time, so, but we're getting it.
Okay, very good, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you guys need me for anything else? What?
Have to have a zoning hearing on that, if that transpires.
It'll have to be platted first. Happy days.
Yeah, why don't we take, 5 or 10? Five, get it done, we'll be back at, 10:42, how about? Good.
Hopefully we'd be for you to establish.
Yeah, so.
In the next 6 days.
It should.
Should.
Well, I was already up. Just worried in water for everything.
Yeah, and then they're supposed to get rain every day this week.
Yeah.
All right. Road and Bridge Superintendent Ryan Durst, executive session.
Yeah, I think Saban maybe had one thing.
Yeah, I do have
Okay.
one, it's just an information item, I wanted to let you know, so KDOT, is started every 2 years, they do what's called a local consult program, it's how they reprogram new projects for the upcoming 2-year period. So they're always looking at what needs to be designed and what goes from design into construction. And they hold meetings around the state in their districts. And I've attended on behalf of the county in the past, on your behalf. The meeting for our district here is October 7th in Pittsburgh, in the morning from 9 to noon. I can send the information. In the past, I've represented you guys, but there's been times when if you guys want to go, or commissioner, or if any want to go, you'll have the information. It's an open meeting. Usually what happens is they're just looking for feedback from the locals as to what projects are important to you in your area. I know ones that we've always represented is Shoulders on 75 Highway, you know, continuing to have a good, robust bridge program that it cost shares with the county and the cost share program itself, which they've done a good job of that. So I just wanted to give you a heads up, that's October 7th, I'll send that info. I do plan on attending, if anyone would like to attend, you're more than welcome.
That'd be good, yeah.
Very good. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Morning, Ryan.
Morning. So, no call-outs this weekend that I heard about. Don't have a whole lot today, but I do have an executive session for non-elected personnel. 20 minutes for the board, myself and Wade, and discussing job performance.
Okay. I'd ask for a motion to enter into executive session for 20 minutes to include each of the commissioners, County Councilor Wade Bowie, and Road and Bridge Superintendent Ryan Durst to discuss personnel matters of non-elected personnel regarding job performance under the Kansas Open Meetings Act, KSA 75-4319B2.
B1.
Okay, sorry, B1.
I'll make that motion. I'll second it.
Moved by McCurry and seconded by Abendroth. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. We'll go in at 10:47. Five.
Isn't that right?
So I said, yeah, first thing basis report.
Yes. No action taken taken in the previous executive session, is that correct?
Correct.
That is all I have for today. If you guys got anything?
How about next item on the agenda, vacation payout discussion?
All right, thanks.
Before you do that, I think there needs to be another executive session, non-elected personnel, job performance, and myself, the board, and Brian.
Okay. Okay.
5 minutes.
Motion to enter into executive session for 5 minutes to include each of the commissioners, county councilor Wade Bowie, and road and bridge superintendent Brian Durst, to discuss personnel matters of non-elected personnel regarding job performance under Kansas Open Meetings Act, KSA 75-4319B1.
So moved. Second.
Then moved by Amador, second by Barker.
Was it Parker?
Yeah, he's
I'm sorry.
he spoke, he spoke louder later, so.
Oh, okay. I heard.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion passes. We'll go in at 11:12. Okay, we're back in. No action taken in the previous executive session. Okay, vacation payout discussion from 11/25/2024.
So to maybe just set the stage, if you remember, not every, three of you weren't here for that initial conversation, at least as members of the board. There had been a discussion regarding, once you get to late November, December, you're having some of the departments with people who don't use their vacation time, taking basically the entire month of December off to use their time. And the discussion centered around having the ability of some of those individuals who had the time and wanted to work, have their vacation time bought out, is basically the summary. So it was put off until the next year, which would be this year, because there would be an issue with the budget. So it didn't get brought back up. That's probably my fault. And now here we are, because now we're at the end of the year and you're closing in on that time period.
I'm not sure if it's anybody's fault. I think it's just, well, I guess I'll take the blame also because I was part of the discussion.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm not sure that it's anybody's fault.
Something we're gonna deal with later.
Yeah. And
Now it's just too late. Yeah.
I mean, the consensus of the past commission was that we would proceed with something, and the dilemma is that we've got a new commission, and so,
Right.
and I don't mean that in that, I'm not saying it's a dilemma, I'm just saying we're dealing with new people.
Right, right.
But getting everybody caught up to speed, understanding what the issue is, the concern. You know, some departments it impacts more than others, and then when you don't have somebody there for an entire month, you have to switch around and change the entire framework of your office, potentially pulling employees from other departments to fill that void, and, you know, are the employees entitled to use their vacation time? Absolutely. It's one of those situations where, and since we have two department heads here, if you don't use it and you're at that threshold, then you lose it. So I believe the conversation previously is if you are at that threshold and it goes over, that's the only time that you would be paid for. Am I?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So it's not paying for all of their vacation time. It would be anything in excess of what that limit is.
To bring it back down to, the standard, bringing it back
The
down.
ceiling.
Yeah, the ceiling.
So you're allowed to carry it over, just not above it.
Right.
So we have the employee handbook that was adopted, last year, June last year? I mean, that part about the vacations in there, everybody knows about it, right? I don't see why we need to deviate from that. I mean, it's there, everybody knows about it, or should know about it.
Well, it's a concern that it's hard for the departments to
When we have
navigate that last month, or
when we have department heads to deal with that year-round. I don't know why it needs to be an emergency at the end of the year.
So are you saying that the department heads should dictate when the employees take vacation days?
Or at least make them aware of the policy, make sure they're aware of the policy, and I mean, they can take it or not take it, I suppose, but, I mean, there's, and carry over quite a few hours, you know, and if you don't meet that during the year, it's just lose it.
Well, then it's all taken off in December,
Yeah,
and that's where we ran.
except for the carryover, right?
Correct.
Right.
So it affects me in both departments with one employee, so that's 25% of the staff in each department that won't be here for basically the whole month of December.
if I remember right, one concern that was brought up was that, I don't know, most everybody agreed, if I remember right, that it is important that people get some time off from their job. I mean, we don't want to buy out all their vacation time. I mean, that was one concern that I remember was talked about. I mean, I'm in favor of if people want to work and there's a job for them to do, for them to get paid to work for it, so.
Those that exceed their ceiling are normally some of your better employees.
That's the
And so.
dilemma, you might say.
Right.
You know.
But it is vacation, and they should be encouraged to take it, because they need some downtime. And they should not be, well, I can't lose you this week, or next week, you know. They shouldn't be made to not be able to take vacation. And I think they should be compensated if they do that. And this is just me, these are my ideas after reading through all the deals. But then comes another thing that becomes a problem, is comp time. Some people use comp time as vacation time. And then if you start paying them for it, where are you gonna draw the line? Where they use just comp time and have all this vacation time?
They have to use comp time before they use vacation time, if they have any.
But then if you start having comp time and vacation time, what are you gonna compensate them for? If you do buyout?
Well, when we turn in a timesheet each month, if they've used any vacation time and they have comp time, they have to use the comp before they get into that vacation pool.
So they're taking time off, and then they're gonna turn around and get comp for the time that they've accumulated. And you can still have, it's more than double dipping. Because they're not working, they're not using vacation time, they're getting comp there, when they probably could have been working beforehand and getting time and a half.
that brings up a whole nother subject. If we don't want to do comp time, then we've got to figure into our budget for time and a half on overtime. But I don't think that's why we're here today, is to talk about that,
But the comp time is in place of a time and a half.
correct.
You're right.
All departments do that the same? Because I've been kind of directed that's not what goes on.
No, some departments do pay time and a half.
No, I mean using comp time before they use vacation time.
I think that's in the policy. So,
That isn't the policy.
in reviewing the commission meeting from 2024, it was the consensus of all the commission at the time to put this in effect, and it was also said in that meeting that it was supposed to go in the policy and procedures handbook, so.
I think I watched that and it was to be looked at later on. I may be wrong, but I didn't watch it like that. That it was to be moved on and looked at a later date. Not being policy. They wanted to look into it and they wanted to have something done, but I don't think there's anything acted on making it policy.
I don't remember.
There was no motion made, but.
Right, correct.
I do remember somebody saying that, that it should be put in the policy book.
Should be one thing, but no motion was made to put it in the policy.
I know one problem I have with buyout is, I mean, we're paying for X number of hours worked for the year, and you're offering the vacation. If you're gonna do a buyout of vacation, you're giving them more money beyond that. And it's almost like a bonus for not taking vacation, and the other employees that are taking their vacation, that's not fair.
We're getting the work out of them though.
The way I look at it though.
Yeah, I know, but we're getting the work from them.
And going through that, I mean, I see where part of the problem is though. I mean, you got a lot of employees who've been here 20, 30, maybe even 35 years, and they've earned a lot more vacation, and they can't take it.
Well, on that leases, we also give the longevity.
Yeah.
A stipend.
And I don't have a problem with the buyout, just because the place I worked, we had a maximum of 200 hours set, and there were times when I wouldn't take vacation. I mean, there were times when I couldn't take vacation, and so they had a buyout, and I don't have a problem with that, but that's just my opinion. It hasn't changed any from last year, I guess is what I'm getting at, but that, because I do understand how that can happen, where you've got employees that sometimes you just can't take vacation. Sometimes, I mean, it puts the department in jeopardy. But
And you guys aren't telling them that they have to take it. They're gonna lose it if they don't, so they do take it. A lot of these people would prefer to work those days. Is that correct?
They're not gonna lose the time, so if they're over their ceiling, they're gonna use it, but.
Yeah, I shouldn't say lose it, but I just mean.
Well, that's
You're not
exactly
telling
how
them.
it works, use it or lose it.
Yeah, but you're not telling them you have to work. Right. They're taking the time off. I mean, the end of the year for Ryan's department, dealing with bad weather days and stuff, you know, I don't know how it would affect all the other departments. it's not a good time for people to be missing. Like you, where you don't have that many people in the departments and you lose a large portion of, I mean, I guess I'd like to encourage people to take the vacations before it comes to the end of it. And obviously, they're gonna take them when they want, I guess, but I'm not opposed to the buyout.
That was my department. I want my employees here during the summer, our busy time, so it's just, it varies for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think right now I have, there's 1,600 hours that need to be used by the end of the year in my department alone. The employees that are maxed out, I mean, potentially they could, I've got a couple employees that have 160 hours to burn, a vacation by the end of the year. It's a lot. It's a lot.
I guess if it came down to some extenuating circumstances, and I'm thinking like if you had some weather or something like that, and there was a real difficulty in taking some vacation.
No, that's one thing. If we get in a weather event with the employees that got off, we bring them back, and they will not lose that time. That's just.
But I was going to say, I'm still opposed to a buyout. However, I would not be opposed to carrying over a little extra into the year, as with the caveat that it would be used up within 30 or 60 days. I mean, that way you're not spending any extra money, which a buyout to me would be spending extra money but to me, there'd have to be some extenuating circumstances though, like the weather. Nice me though.
I can see some advantages to it. It's kind of a perk for, like Todd said, if anybody's got that time left over, typically it's the more seasoned employees. I don't know if they need to buy out every hour. I don't know. I mean, there's a wide variety of what can be implemented or changed there. I don't know what that looks like, but, I think anytime we have an opportunity to consider and looking at ways of benefiting our employees, I mean, that's the upside to it. Is it cost a little more money? It is, but, is it worth it? Is that something, it's always the balance, as a department head and working within budgets. That's always the balance. You want to make sure we're taking care of our employees like we should, and staying competitive, and, it's extra stuff that even when you're doing, interviews for new hires and things, that's all stuff that you can throw in there instead of just the dollar wage, and, it's always the benefit side of it, and the vacation leave and stuff like that, so, I would think, if I was an employee, like say that in my last year, I think if I could get paid for that extra vacation time, or, for the last couple of years to for my capers, get my last couple of years as high as I can, I think that's a benefit to the employees. But I know I'd have a hard time, we get a lot of comp time in my department. Potentially I could have somebody that gets over 100 hours of comp time if the winter's bad, and, I don't, where's the balance if somebody's, uses 3 weeks of comp throughout the year, and then at the end we pay them for 3 weeks of vacation, I mean, because they were using comp time, I don't, not everybody has the opportunity to get comp time like my department, so, there's some inconsistencies within departments there, so.
Well, that's true, but those people applied to go to work at your department too. So, people that aren't eligible for it aren't eligible, or that it doesn't work out for. That's the department they work in. That's just my thought. That's not the right way to look at it either.
Well, no, it is, because that's just part of that department.
That's part of that position that they applied for. So, if we were gonna do a buyout, that money's not in the budget for this coming year. Is that correct?
The discussion happened in November of 2024, so at that point, we do not have it in the budget, but we're talking about such a small amount, in my opinion, that it's not going to affect my departments.
It won't affect his department, he has so many more employees.
I mean, for 2026 budget's already set, so I mean, you know, if employees know starting, January 1st next year, that at the end of the year, they could potentially get, paid for their vacation time. I don't know how many is gonna say, okay, well, I'm gonna save all that I can, I don't know what type of numbers I'm be looking at. I don't,
Well, I think when we had the discussion before, a comment I made was, apparently we think we need these people, we've got them in these positions. I know vacation's calculated into it, but, I don't see that we're hurting ourselves to pay them to be at work. I know it costs more, but once again, I don't suppose you've got too many employees that are on the weaker side that don't take their vacation already. So, like you said, you're gonna have your more dedicated employees, your better employees are the ones that would be, typically would be eligible for this. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that would change if they knew they could get paid for their vacation. I don't know.
Mark, you said something about, and I realize this would depend on the circumstances, but increasing the time.
Extending the time to use it,
Extending the time to use it.
Basically, if there was extenuating circumstances, like, just looking at right now, an employee has been here over 15 years, they can carry over 240 hours of vacation.
Right.
No, that's a lot, but, say they had 260 or 270 hours, allow them to carry that over as long as it was used within 30 or 60 days or whatever, and if it's not, then they lose it. But that way, I mean.
Anything over that 260 hours is what you're saying.
240
I'm sorry, 240 hours.
I mean, an extension would help. There's also something else that you could look at if you're not in favor of the buyout, and that would be to raise the ceiling. So instead of 240 hours, we raise it to 320 hours. But that would help us for this year, but then we would run into the same
situation next year. I mean, eventually, that's gonna get out.
Then you end up with, in my mind, a big lag at the end of their employment. You just keep adding to that, and that how that would work. When they got ready to retire, then they'd have that much more time that we'd have an employee here that we weren't replacing, but yet they weren't at work. If we extended it, or raised it, if we raised it.
So you've got, what, two?
One in each department. Well, you tell us what we've got to work with and we'll make it work.
You know, I think,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I know it doesn't work for every department, but is it even possible to lend an employee from another department to cover for a while? Well, somebody takes, and I know that's not gonna work in Road and Bridge for anybody driving a truck or whatever, you know.
I would guess it could work, but then if it won't always work.
No, it won't, that's probably opening up another.
It has worked. I've seen Wade out running recycling at least once, twice, so.
Yeah, we probably need Wade in the.
Rather than all the recycling truck.
Seems to be plenty of work there with the caseload that's going on. A really good answer.
I'm just looking at it from the standpoint of not spending any additional money.
So.
I mean, that's what we had was budgeted and,
Right.
So how would it work for, say, the employees that are in that dilemma to go past that into the first of the year, and then with the thought that it would be used then after the first of the year, some way?
I don't know. I mean, again, I think it would have to be extenuating circumstances also. I mean, they're prevented from using it up before the end of the year, some legitimate way. And then what comes to mind first is, you know, Road and Bridge Department, you get some winter storms, you know, and they're out there, you know, I mean, I can see that.
But you say you call them in.
Right.
Yes, I mean, most employees will come in if needed, even if they're on vacation.
See, and there's a case where, I mean, I think we could carry over the vacation to the next year and use it up, you know, in the first 2 or 3 months. I don't know.
But I can see Todd's dilemma is he's gonna have 2 out for, I don't know how long, but.
Right.
Both of them would be over 15 days.
Pardon?
Both would be over 15 days.
Mike, you got a different angle on this you can think of?
Nope, this is a new one to me. Company I work for doesn't offer vacation, so.
I get on him a little bit.
Yeah, I need to talk to that guy, but, so this really hasn't been much of an issue for me.
Yeah.
But,
We've got to get.
You wanna think about it, revisit it next week or something?
sounds like there's definitely some discussion that needs to be had on it, some more.
Yeah. I know where I stand, so I guess that's, yes, there needs to be more discussion.
A lot of variables.
Yeah.
Any other comments, or?
Throw me a lifeline.
I understand.
I believe the extension that you mentioned, Mark, and these guys everybody can correct me if I'm wrong, but did occur during COVID. There was a period of time where it was extended. You could go over for a period of, I think, 6 months. had to be used
I believe that's correct.
within 6 months. So, and those were some extenuating circumstances because of COVID.
And I think probably the last commission, the consensus was in November to do that. So I think probably, and I'm not trying to put words or, I think probably the employees that are in question thought that that was a done deal. So for Todd's situation, I think those are
Extenuating?
thank you, circumstances. That's what I was getting at, was that his employees thought that it was a done deal.
That is correct.
And
For the health department, we were under the impression that it was to remain as is since there wasn't a motion or approval on payout. So I have already, in the health department, we do accumulate comp, and we do have a staff member too that would be above their cap. And in the third quarter, I've already notified them that they have the potential to lose out on that time over at cap, so they've already scheduled their time off.
And you're right, there was a motion.
Okay.
There was a motion. It was just a consensus.
That was the opinion.
That was the opinion at the time. And the reason why it wasn't acted on last year is because, just because of that. People had already, if I remember right, and my memory isn't that good sometimes, but it wasn't put into action last year just because it was such a short time before they needed to do it. And you're right, there wasn't anything done on that.
Because I did factor into the budget to pay out comp and for them to take their vacation, not to pay out comp and vacation.
Okay.
Well, we want to just revisit it next week, just give it some more thought. Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you.
I think that's.
No, that's a new one, there's just a check. Yeah, start with that.
Oh, okay, okay. I didn't sign it, sorry.
Maybe just go with this.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, you know.
Can't win.
we're good.
I'm trying to.
What you guys were thinking
About just conversation here on a buyback, just see if you're not thinking about buyback at the rate of salary, are you? Just, okay, well, the schools, when we could sell, you could accumulate 3 personal days, if you didn't use them, you could accumulate, you get 2, you accumulate 3, and next year, they would buy one back from you. Because if you didn't use it, they bought them back at $50.
Yeah, on this, I think.
And that would promote taking vacation time.
I think on this, Todd, I think look, I'm just going back.
Sure,
I think the thought was that it would be bought out at wage price. There wasn't that many people involved, and I think that people that for Todd's deal, I think his people thought that it was a done deal for this year. I mean, and that's why, just because of the consensus of.
Mm-hmm.
So. To get things fixed temporarily, it would be nice to extend that overage into next year.
And then draw a line
And
here.
then draw the line there. I mean, just,
Sure.
I mean, I'm not trying to.
with you on that.
and-
COVID really jacked things up.
Well, and again, I'm still in favor of the buyout, okay? But if, obviously, it's probably not going to happen that way, but I do think we need to do something to fix the problem for
If
this
they
year.
assumed it was gonna be ineffective, to extend it into.
And I'm not talking about a buyout, I'm just saying extend
Yeah.
that vacation over into the next, whether it's 3 months or 6 months or whatever. That way, that would fix that,
Would give them a little flexibility.
it'd give them a little
If they wanted
flexibility to
take
get it fixed,
vacation,
yes.
if they assumed it was the other way. There's no good answer here, that's the bottom line.
But yes, to your question, it was.
I would think about that if you want to go into buyout,
About the wage.
doing it at a set.
Hmm.
And then that would encourage people to take their vacations, not to carry them over. And if they do carry them over, it's not gonna be a strain on the budget.
Right. And that's something. You're right. But to get it fixed for.
Yeah, and I understand.
To get it fixed for Todd, and I'm
Just-
using Todd because he's got the two
Yeah.
that's going to be out.
We need to,
And
probably
then,
need to communicate with their people about what goes on in the meetings where they knew that Amelia knew that.
right.
So, I mean,
Easy.
yeah,
Just in one place.
don't do it. And then you make it down, and then you take, you're just increasing your salary.
That's right.
Another month's salary.
We know you have it.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, yeah, it was just on top there, so that's.
I wouldn't have any time left if I had vacation.
I was gonna win the lottery and when I was at the school and use my, my sick leave before I quit.
I'm telling you, Mike, you need to talk to your boss.
Talk to them all the time.
Or we
Mine
can-
was paying, we're
Yeah, we have the same bosses. Call the IRS.
They do seem to have a,
From an auditing standpoint,
effect on my performance, or my needed performance.
sometimes that's the way you see, there's days I'd rather go on vacation.
I don't like
Unfortunately, they don't.
For mental health.
Well, man,
She's been there, having some stuff.
Yeah.
Not saying any of that's happening, but from that standpoint, but I can also see where you go to where you pay for your vacations and you get paid twice for the same day.
I was always catch on to that, not taking, it's a hour of vacation time, when I went,
Yeah, we're about 89 for
I lost the
That would be my vacation.
And there was a cap, I was well over that, but.
Now we're talking.
I mean,
You can never transfer sick leave, that we always have to start over on those.
I remember there were 3 discretionary days a year you had to use them by the middle of December. And I remember the county clerk would always call and say, hey, if you don't use them by December 18th, you lose them.
How much is a stamp?
Nobody knows.
It's in the mail,
Well,
nobody knows.
$1.89, we're gonna spend 80 cents, maybe.
Yeah. That's the one I was talking about, keeps me home.
I saw a mate not far gas Saturday.
Do I?
I saw a mate not gas Saturday night, so that was a perfect response. He should include that as part of his act. How much is this thing? each time I think I have the price figured out, it goes up again.
Oh, it does. I'm very, I'm glad they make the stamps, it's
Forever stamp.
forever stamp.
Yeah. It's the only way to buy them.
It is,
Yeah.
it is.
Then you get the ones that are added on, they don't tell you how many cents they have to put on.
You know, some kid in high school could probably make some good money by, after school, just picking up mail from area businesses and delivering it around town.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. That's ridiculous. They understand.
Over 2 weeks for title and for Topeka.
Oh, yeah, it's, it is.
I'm still waiting on the letter that was sent to me in May.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah. Curious if it'll ever arrive. Yeah.
It's still in the mail, right?
It's in the mail.
Famous last word.
Checks in the mail.
Checks in the mail. Do I?
We do days. For vacation, we do days, we don't do hours. We'll do it into half-day increments. We don't do the days, you get 2 weeks, you get 3 weeks, whatever. And that takes some of the nightmare out of the logistics of bookkeeping.
Oh, for you guys.
Yeah, the elevators, yeah.
Yeah, we did ours. I mean, obviously when we owned the business, but when we went to work for the co-op, then it was ours.
It was hours there,
And at one time, I think I had 3 months worth of vacation, and Adrian finally figured it out. He said, "We can't have this." And so at that time, he said, I'll buy you back down to the deal. And he said, we always ran pretty short-staffed, and so there were times my wife would get irritated at me, but I just couldn't take off.
I know what you mean, yeah.
And so that's how the buyout came about there.
Angie's buying this one?
Yep, she is.
Signature stuff made it around, I guess. Are we ready for round table? Mr. Bowie?
I need, the only thing I have is, check that. A 10-minute executive session, attorney-client, myself, the board, and it's to cover, legal advice regarding subordinate board.
Hold on a minute,
Ten, is that right?
10 minutes.
Okay. Ask for a motion to enter into executive session for 10 minutes to include each of the commissioners, County Councilor Wade Bowie, to discuss matters deemed privileged in the attorney-client relationship regarding legal advice of a subordinate board under the Kansas Open Meetings Act, KSA 75-4319B2.
I'll make that motion.
Second it.
Moved by McCurry, seconded by Abendroth. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Yes, we're going at 12:04.
And you said Angie's buying lunch, is that right?
Tacos.
Okay, no action taken in the previous executive session. Was that all you had, sir?
I'm waiting to hear from Tutok Rock on the Beto CID amendment to that agreement. So hopefully we'll have something soon. Just to recap, that amendment would be to allow for TA to do the work, to provide whatever those plans are to the county sign off on it, then request reimbursement from the county through the CID funds for that improvement, and to allow, as long as that's the main part of it. So it's in legal counsel's hands on the other side for them to approve what would be proposed by the county.
Okay.
I don't have anything else.
I attended fiber optic board meeting last week.
Pardon me?
Went to the fiber optic,
Okay.
and, that day they had something that went down. We have two portals that I understand coming out that we get our information and moves back and forth. One of them shut down. It's the big portal, allows massive amounts of information through. The other portal wasn't as big. It's kind of causing a backlog of information, causing lots of technical people running around. But we suggested that maybe we should look at this smaller portal and enlarging it so we can get more data through it in case that ever happened again. I think they're going to work through that. It didn't seem like it'd be a monstrous amount of money for all the entities that are involved in it. I think they're like $1,500, $2,000. Anything to do with safety, I think that'd be worth it.
Yeah, because aren't the schools?
Schools are tied into it, yeah. So, and then, the other thing, I reached out to, Wade and to Amelia. We had an individual that was homeless in the area. We finally got him on the road, but they got tired of me calling and bothering with him, but we got the gentleman some help, and he's moved on. So if you've heard anything about the gentleman in the ditch up there, that's what the situation is. about.
Okay, and that's resolved, you think?
We think so, yeah. He's not there.
Okay, very good.
It's taken care of.
Yeah.
I want to thank Wade Utah, and Williams, and then there were some individuals in the community that really worked hard on it, helped him out monetarily and getting back.
So there was a real need there. I mean,
But he wouldn't, it was difficult wanting the needs met, or not all the needs, he only wanted parts of it, so. And that's all I have.
Okay. All right.
Oh, I was just gonna say on Saturday, myself and my wife, we volunteered to help with the Pioneer Days there at the Cobb County Museum, and anyway, it's a really neat event for a lot of kids and families. And then I know I spoke to several people who they had not been in the museum before, and discovered that it is a really neat place. They got a lot of great exhibits, and they were really impressed, and as they should be. Anyway,
was it an all-day deal?
nah, it was from 11 to 2.
I see.
So, but anyway, it was a great event and good way to expose the museum. Thought I'd give them a little shout out there.
Yeah, they've got a lot of stuff in there. Anybody
do.
that hasn't been there needs to go.
Yeah, it is really impressive for county our size.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
Okay.
Supposedly Bob's done with the brick today, Maribel's, supposed to wrap the roof up this week sometime. And like we talked about a week ago, not put any awnings back till we knew exactly what we was gonna do, so. The thing I would say is start thinking about what we wanna do with the building, how we wanna do it. So, I think Angie had a copy of the engineer's report that the guy did on the buildings there, and pretty good shape.
That'd be nice to include for Cameron to have. And
Yeah, that's kind of what.
share that prospective buyers.
How soon before they tidy up the roof
This week.
this week?
Yeah, they thought they could get it done this week, so. But, we're good to go, back to square one, and they're gonna put that glass in this week too for the front, so.
Great, great.
It's looking good.
Okay.
Other than that's all I got.
Thank you, Mike.
I don't have anything. I would like to, next week, try to address this vacation thing and get it,
Resolved?
resolved, if at all possible. But I don't have anything else.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, I don't have anything to add. I have the advantage of being on the end of the line. A lot of things I want to bring up, already talked about the time we get here, so.
Well, we'll start on that end next time.
You still won't get much from it. Angie, do you have anything for us?
Couple things. So next week will be checks and vouchers, you'll sign at the end of the meeting. I sent out the KAC conference schedule, or the topics that will be discussed. Are any of you interested that you would like me to go ahead and schedule rooms, or?
I'm not gonna try to go this game.
Okay.
Yeah.
I still need to look at it.
Okay.
I saw you sent it.
I had no harvest being put back so far.
Okay.
Yeah.
You'll be happy the
I
first of the year
haven't
gone.
looked at it,
So just kind of keep it on your radar if you would.
Okay.
And then the last thing I have was October 2nd is going to be Government Day, when the students come in and
I'm sorry,
they'll
what
do
date?
October 2nd, it's a Thursday. They come into the courthouse and go to each, well, I wouldn't say all offices, but they go to a lot of the offices and have we do a little spiel on what's going on in our office and what we do, and then they move on to the next. And I think Jeannie Haas is going to be getting a hold of you, Ray, to see if you want to do the
Okay.
presentation at the school or whatever it is, and then we'll need somebody here in this room to talk about what the commissioners do. So if one of you or two of you want to be here for that too, that'd be great.
October the 2nd.
Uh-huh.
And they'll do that at the school, the first
That'll be-
thing when they.
That'll be the welcoming thing at the school, and then, yeah.
I can do
She's
whatever.
gonna get with you,
I
though.
can
Tell me what I need to do.
I can do whatever.
Okay, okay.
or
So,
try to.
Okay.
and you can come and hang out and walk around and see what they tell everybody, whatever you want to do too.
Yeah.
And that's government day.
Yeah, government day.
What, you know what time it is?
Usually it starts around
Most of the morning.
9:30 or 10, and it goes till about noon. Then they have a lunch down at the 4-H building after.
What time do you think it starts at the school, you said?
I think that the school, I think it's about 9.
Okay.
She's gonna send the schedule out too. So,
Okay.
and I'll forward that to all departments once we get that.
Okay.
That's a really neat thing for the seniors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think 9 o'clock here?
Well, you probably would wanna be here at 9. They probably won't get here until about 9:30, but
They wait on my speech, I won't hold them up very long.
You're gonna be pretty short, is that
Well,
what you're saying?
usually.
and if whoever would like to do the presentation in here, I mean, I've got a file in my computer that I can give you, and you can add notes to it or whatever that I've given the previous commissioners.
Yeah, give them some
throughout
ideas.
time.
Yeah.
So, just to help you out. And that's all I have.
Okay. Very good. Anybody have anything else? Well, I guess that being the case, we'll adjourn at 12:24.
Or do you want to just call in and have me?